You're tired, but you're not actually resting. Your body might be lying still, but your mind keeps running nonstop. You pick up your phone just to check something for a minute, and suddenly you're pulled into short videos, messages, and social media. It all feels harmless, but from a neuroscience perspective, this kind of stimulation makes it extremely difficult for your brain to enter a true recovery state. You think you're resting, but your brain is still processing information, just in a different form. And if this pattern continues, that tiredness doesn't stay as simple fatigue. It slowly builds into burnout, low motivation, mental heaviness, and the feeling that you never fully recover. In this video, we're looking at this from a neuroscience perspective. Why most forms of rest don't actually help your brain recover. More importantly, you'll see that real rest isn't complicated or unrealistic. It usually comes down to small, simple actions that, when done right, can restore your mental energy far more effectively than you expect. The real goal of rest isn't just to stop working. It's to bring both your body and your brain back into a true recovery state. To understand that, you need to know about an important system in your brain called the default mode network. This network becomes active when you're not focused on an external task, like when you're walking, showering, sitting quietly, or simply letting your mind drift. During those moments, your brain is doing background work. It organizes information, connects ideas, and processes unresolved emotions. In other words, this is when your brain cleans up and reorganizes itself. But here's the key point. Two people can both be doing nothing, yet one feels lighter afterward, while the other gets stuck in anxiety, regret, or endless overthinking. That means rest isn't simply about stopping activity. Real rest is about allowing your brain to organize itself in a healthy way instead of getting trapped in negative thought loops. The first thing you need to do is reduce external input. This is where most people get it wrong. When you're mentally tired, your instinct is to grab your phone. You think you're taking a quick break with short videos or social media, but for your brain, that's not rest. It's just another stream of tasks. Every video, image, sound, and headline forces your brain to keep processing, reacting, and shifting attention. On the surface, you're not doing anything demanding, but internally, your brain is still working continuously. There's also a deeper issue. Fast, high-intensity content trains your brain to expect instant rewards. Over time, this makes slower, more meaningful tasks, like studying or deep work, feel harder and more frustrating. Not because your focus suddenly got worse, but because your brain has been conditioned to prefer quick stimulation. That's why after scrolling for a while, it feels harder, not easier, to return to what you were doing. To start changing this without overwhelming yourself, you don't need a full digital detox. Start small. During one break today, simply put your phone face down and out of reach for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. That short pause is enough to signal to your brain that there's no new input to process. And once you can do that, the next step becomes much easier. When external input decreases, something else happens. Your brain turns inward. This is when many people start to feel worse instead of better. Your mind begins replaying past mistakes, future worries, and things you can't control. In psychology, this is called rumination, when your brain keeps cycling through the same thoughts without resolution. From the outside, you look like you're resting, but internally, your brain is working even harder. So the second step isn't to force yourself to stop thinking, because that rarely works. A better approach is to shift your attention from abstract thoughts to physical sensations in the present moment. When your focus moves to your body or your senses, your brain has fewer resources left to fuel those endless thought loops. This isn't suppression, it's redirection. You can start very small. When your mind feels overwhelmed, don't try to solve everything. Just take a slow breath in, a slow breath out, and focus on 3 full breaths. Just 3. Then notice something physical, like your feet touching the ground or the feeling of your hands holding something. It may sound simple, but that simplicity is exactly why it works. It gives your brain something real to anchor to, helping pull you out of the mental spiral. This is also why activities like walking, stretching, drinking tea slowly, listening to instrumental music, or simply sitting quietly can be so effective. These activities don't demand complex thinking. Instead, they bring your attention back to breathing, sound, movement, temperature, and rhythm. And when your focus shifts from what you're thinking to what you're feeling, your brain can finally begin to rest. The final step is to check your emotional state after resting. This is what separates real rest from fake rest. Good rest usually leaves you feeling calmer, clearer, and more stable. Poor rest might feel stimulating in the moment, but afterward you feel restless, drained, or unsettled. The reason comes down to two systems in your brain: dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine pushes you to chase more stimulation, more novelty, more intensity. Serotonin creates a sense of stability, satisfaction, and enoughness. If your break is built around competition, endless scrolling, or high stimulation, you're likely feeding dopamine. It may feel good for a moment, but it doesn't restore you. It keeps pulling you forward. That's why a simple question can help. After this, do I feel calmer or just more stimulated? You don't need to overhaul your entire routine. Just replace one short break today with something different, like a slow walk or quiet music, and notice the difference. Your experience will give you the answer. There's no single perfect way to rest. For some people, light movement like walking or swimming works best. For others, quiet activities like yoga, stretching, or sitting in a calm cafe feel more restorative. What matters isn't the activity itself, but whether your nervous system feels more settled afterward. Many people feel guilty about resting. They think it's a waste of time. But the real problem isn't resting. It's not resting properly. If you don't give your brain real recovery time, it will take it from you anyway through lower focus, lower energy, and emotional fatigue. Rest isn't a reward. It's part of the system that allows you to keep performing well. Instead of waiting until you're exhausted, build rest into your rhythm. After about 50 minutes of focused work, take 5 to 10 minutes to reset. If that feels too long, start with 25 minutes of focus and 5 minutes of rest. That's not too small to matter. It's often the most sustainable way to prevent burnout. In the evening, you don't need a perfect routine. Just create a small window where your phone isn't the center of your attention. Maybe 15 minutes of walking, 10 minutes with tea, or a few pages of a physical book. These small moments signal to your brain that it no longer needs to react to everything. At its core, real rest is simple. Reduce unnecessary input. Shift attention back to your senses. Choose activities that create stability instead of stimulation. When these come together, your brain can actually recover instead of just being distracted. You can't eliminate stress or fatigue in one session. But just like you clean your living space regularly, your mind also needs small, consistent moments of recovery. And often, what you need isn't a long vacation. It's a few real moments of stillness. If you want to start today, try just one thing. During your next break, don't reach for your phone. Give yourself 5 minutes to sit quietly, walk slowly, or focus on your breathing. That's it. From something that small, you'll start to realize that rest isn't a waste of time. It's what keeps you from being pulled under. If this helped you rethink how you rest, try one small change tonight. That might be the first step toward discovering what real recovery actually feels like for you.